We had a story like this in our very own version of California up here in Canada. It happened in BC. I can't remember the exact name of the people, but yeah, the schools themselves were pushing their LGBTQ plus whatever and additional letters and numbers that are now a part of that fucking anagram for disinformation. Really. Now it's made its public face stateside. I'm sure it's probably been happening before, but this is the first documented case that I've seen. Parents say daughter was coached on LGBTQ identity at California school. Let's see if they go any farther than just simply being coached. And this is just going to be, a specific story, but I think it's important to share because, again, it's just banging on about stupid, terrible public school divisions and, yeah, why you should get your kids out of public schools. Parents outraged over school staff who allegedly disguised the names of gay straight alliance clubs at California Middle School are planning to voice their concerns at a school board meeting this week in Salinas. Jessica Conan, who alleged that school staff indoctrinated her then 12-year-old daughter into an LGBTQ club disguised as an equality club, told Epoch Times she plans to speak at the December 15th meeting at Salinas Union School District during public comments. Two teachers at Buena Vista Middle School in Salinas were recorded coaching other teachers to conceal the nature of LGBTQ clubs and by parents and a sold out Teachers Association conference held in Palm Springs, California from October 29th to October 31st. Yeah, we talked about that, and I'll try to link it or remember to link it in one of the iCards if you didn't see the original video as well on YouTube. And if not, on Rumble and Odyssey, the videos are up, and it's probably under California School Board or something like that, but whatever. The CTA event was billed as the 2021 LGBTQ plus issues conference beyond the binary. Oh, cool. It sounds so adventurous. Identity and imagining possibilities. Teachers led a workshop called How We Run a GSA in Conservative Communities. Remember, this was in California. Cool. In conservative communities. Okay, so how do you push your propaganda into hyperdrive? That's basically the alternative labeling of this course. And describe the obstacles that they face as activist teachers to conceal the activities of GSA clubs from their parents. But we don't need to retread that ground. I already covered it in that video that I referenced before. And now let's get into the specific claims of the parent. Conan claims that one of the teachers coaxed her daughter to join a lunch hour equality club and began reaffirming her daughter as transgender. Did her daughter identify as that? And again, is that legitimate for a 12-year-old to really be discussing or making a decision on one way or another? Don't know. I don't think so. But again, I'm not an activist teacher. Near the end of the 6th grade, Conan's daughter told her she might be bisexual. Why are you talking about this stuff? That's fucking weird. In the middle of the 7th grade, Conan was called to the school for a meeting with her daughter, a teacher, and a school principal. Again, this is the school making transformational decisions on your child's behalf, telling you that they know better than what your parents do. That's cool. Teacher told Conan her daughter was trans fluid. Why? What's that? Is that in like a vehicle? Is that like headlight fluid or something? Sat across the table and I was crying. I was trying to absorb everything. Like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this commie propagandist garbage? They kept looking at me angrily because I kept saying she, and it was going to take time for me to process everything. I was very confused, very upset, and I was blindsided, completely blindsided. The teacher accused Conan of not being emotionally supportive of her daughter, who was called by a new name and male pronouns, and would be using a unisex restroom at school. I felt she completely coached my child. No shit. Conan said she was hurt that her daughter had not come to her first and that the teacher acted in a mean-spirited, smirking way towards her. Again, I don't have any evidence to back this up, but again, it seems highly likely, knowing teachers and then especially California in general, made me feel very, very small as a parent. I was unaware of anything, and not one time had she mentioned to me, oh, I think that I want to change my name, or I'm transgender, or anything. Nothing. I only heard bisexual one time, and that was it. Yeah, from your 6-year-old kid, who also probably earlier that week wanted to be, I don't know, a flight instructor or something retarded. No offense to flight instructors, but this is just the flighty thought process of a 12-year-old girl. Within a few days of the meeting, the King City Police Department showed up at her door and told her that there had been a complaint made to Child Protective Services. Oh, God, if this was the case and CPS was involved, I go from being skeptical, even though not really terribly skeptical of the mother, to being completely on her side because CPS is just an abomination to all of humankind. The police questioned her 2 children and asked them if they wanted to be removed from the home. They made me feel like a monster. Yeah, no shit, because CPS is fucking terrible. But Conan complied and took her child to meet with CPS that week. Oh, God, this is AIDS. Totally fucking AIDS. According to Conan, CPS dropped the case and did not demand that she call her daughter by masculine pronouns as the teacher had insisted. Well, that's good. They aren't compelling your speech in your own home. That's, I guess, a little bit of a victory. Throughout the school year, Conan was afraid to ask questions about her daughter or her school activities, fearing CPS could take her children away. Great way to live. What's your husband doing in this situation? I'm just going to go ahead and put some responsibility on the mother here for a moment. After several meetings with the teachers, Conan discovered the school knew her daughter had searched online for information about suicide, but never told her about it. Oh, great. Great. So now you're what? You're bisexual or trans fluid or suicidal child. You're not allowed to ask any more questions about it because the school might feel a little bit more avarice and put in another CPS complaint. But again, we don't know for sure, if, at least at this time, if the complaint came from the school, but logical conclusions would lead you to believe. After several meetings with the teachers, could you imagine having to go back and face the same people who just accused you of being a monster over and over again? Just having to go back and relive that every single time? Boy, this really dissuades me from any sort of inkling that I have to have children, because right now, yeah, this is localized in California and have zero intentions of ever living in California until it reforms itself, or ever starting a family, especially in California and especially with the modern woman. But regardless, it ain't gonna stay there. It's gonna travel far and wide until this shit gets made as open and transparent as possible. So glad she's doing that. After several meetings with the teachers, Conan discovered the school knew about her daughter and had searched online for information about suicide. Oh, okay, cool, but didn't, express that with her, so I misread that. Glad I went back to read that. They failed to tell me that part, and I was very angry, and after that, it had just been downhill. It's not okay for the teachers to keep parents in the dark about the gender identity issues or anything else. And again, you just go back and take a look and research the origins of gender. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It was made up by some kook who ran some fucking atrocious, monstrous experiments. Dr. Money pinned video on my channel for a reason, okay? Her daughter, now 14, left Buena Vista and is now attending a new school where she's using her female birth name and feminine pronouns. Imagine that. You're out of the indoctrination camp and then things magically start to go your way and you stop thinking suicidal thoughts. Fucking weird, right? Conan asked her daughter if she was sure, and told her it was okay if she wanted to use a male name and pronouns, and that her teacher had used at Buena Vista. But according to Conan, her daughter responded, "Mom, they're not good people." Oh, even just by proxy, it was kind of weird. Like, I got that gut feeling, like I had assumed, like, I have no basis in this, but if you're looking after somebody that you love, you can just kind of extrapolate that feeling, and I could just imagine that's probably tenfold more powerful if you're a parent and then you hear that from your kid. Feeling pretty murderous right now, but again, none of this has been documented or proven, but I think burning down the teachers union is probably a good place to start. I asked her, would you like to have an AKA on your attendance? She said, no, I don't want that, Mom, which is awesome. Things are better. She's in a different school, different surroundings. Nobody's really pressuring her. Cool. Conan's father, Gunther Conan, that is the most German name I've ever seen, told the Epoch Times he can't believe the ways the school treated his daughter and granddaughter. Okay. Okay. Not the father. Okay. Conan's father. The mother's father, okay? But what about the kid's father? He's notably absent in this. I've watched my daughter as she went to school. It really broke my heart, he said. My daughter's done nothing wrong. If anything, she's too much of a good mom. He really blames the school for getting the police and the CPS involved. We don't know that for sure, but right is right, wrong is wrong, and left gets the gallows. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like there's a place to teach what they've taught to my granddaughter. I'm furious. Uh-oh, you're furious? That's terrifying. He said parents are unaware of what's being taught to their children by the teachers, what goes on in the schools, what's the criteria being taught. I mean, things that are being taught in the school and the kind that makes made it through the cracks, he said. Very, very old school dude right there, which I totally agree with. Yeah, but it's not being localized to just merely that specific part of California. It's happening in other places in the state. Imagine my shock. It's happening across the state in California. It happened to me, Jacobs said. Oh, okay, didn't read the opening paragraph here. Another mom with a gender dysphoric daughter who goes by a pseudonym, Charlotte Jacobs, told Epoch Times Conan's case is not uncommon and it is almost the same as hers. It's happening across the state in California. It happened to me, okay? When I spoke to the school administration where my daughter was attending school about the name change, a few days later, CPS was at my doorstep. Okay, so weaponizing, yeah, okay, cool. The state weaponizing the state. Yup, commie shit. Calling the police or the CPS as a way to pressure parents to follow certain gender ideologies, she said. It's extremely scary for parents to have the CPS show up at their homes over a name. It's unexpected and we were caught off guard. Our parental rights are being trampled on by teachers who may or may not have our child's best interest at heart. It's the latter. It's obviously the latter. Cheryl Doofus. You should consider the surname change, just saying. Whose children attended Buena Vista Middle School, had repeatedly complained to the school over 6 years and warned that LGBTQ activism in the classroom and on school grounds has escalated beyond acceptable levels. Yup, you let them in the door a little bit and then they kick it wide the fuck open. She learned of reports that Buena Vista teachers had coached other teachers how to hide GSA clubs from parents. Doofus was outraged. Oh, yeah. I was shocked, obviously. I knew things were going on at the school, and I had no idea about the deceit that was going on. The preying on children, that's tend to be what they do. That seems to be their MO. I had no idea. I knew they were passionate teachers, that their agenda was spilling into the classrooms, but you didn't think that the next logical step was going to happen? God, you're stupid. Maybe you've earned your surname. I do have several friends whose kids went to Buena Vista and they're struggling with gender, and immediately I wondered if they are struggling. I wonder if they would be struggling if they didn't go to that school. Yup, young, impressionable minds. Get them while they're young. Oh, remember, all this stuff is just going to stay in universities, and they'll just, the people who graduate from there, they'll eventually just grow up. No, they'll just get jobs working with their friends and indoctrinate younger and younger people. It's a disaster zone, she said. Somebody has to stand up and do the right thing, or our whole town is lost. Well, beyond one generation, because that's the thing. Mike Lipey, thank God at least one dude is in this situation, okay, whose children attended Buena Vista before he chose a homeschooling option. This guy's my fucking hero. Opposes sexual education of any kind in public schools. Okay, based father, what did he have to say? Told the Epoch Times? I think it's supposed to be Times. I'd imagine so. That the SUSD school board and administration has become radicalized. The board and administration assured Alipe in July that there was no type of comprehensive sexual education going on at the school except in the 8th grade for a few short days once a year. Okay, cool. If we're going to take their lying at face value, that must be some very powerful education that just ends up fucking people who are in the 6th and 7th grade as well. Fucking weird how that shit works. So, this pretty much leads me to believe that they are dishonest, he said. Based man. Lipe said he sees any and all sexual-related clubs and or education cease until there has been a thorough investigation. Yeah, exactly. It's school. You're there to learn. You're not there to be sexual deviants. That includes the teachers and any other staff who are running the clubs, the principal, the school superintendent, and the SUSD presidents. Yeah, he probably also in his deepest, darkest fantasies wants to see them all just marched into camps or something like that until a full and thorough investigation can be conducted in the gas chambers. SUSD school board president Stephen McDougall has not responded to inquiries. Yes, because he's trying to refine his policies and lambast some of the more vocal teachers that were out there, which, yeah, if you guys remember that video as well, and please go back for a refresher course if you are interested. They were very vocal about their platform and pushing their ideology and fucking up the youth for generations to come, because this ideology goes all the way fucking down. And yeah, very, very tragic set of stories that they have here. But yeah, we need more Mark Lipes in the world, and fewer activist teachers out there. And maybe potentially we reform the public school districts and public school system itself, but highly unlikely. Homeschool if you have the means and you have the abilities, because for right now, for as far as I can see, private schools, they seem to be all right, but they're going to be next. That cabal of activist teachers, they're going to find their way into that district, and they're going to find their way into those schools as well. And if they aren't rooted out and they aren't nipped in the bud at the beginning, their ideology will just blossom and ruin more people's lives. So stay on top of this shit, okay? Don't let this sneak up on you, because this stuff just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a mere couple of days and a couple of years into the future after your kids started expressing different gender ideology problems. Stay on top of what your kids are learning for a multitude of reasons. Hey, it could even get you fucking criminal charges if you live in Michigan, but... anyways, guys, sorry to end on a down-ish note, but the more you know, the more and better equipped you are for the future. So, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.